Okay, viewers, this is VOND, Dr. James VOND speaking, and today's date is 18th of March 2026, and it's a Wednesday. And right now, I'm on Fairfax Street in Coventry City Centre. And I'm heading towards the city centre, towards Britannia Hotel and Trinity Street. And I should mention today, my late mother, would have been 83 years of age today. It was her birthday, if she had still survived. But she never survived, obviously. She sadly passed away at a care home where she's being held captive last year on the 4th of January 2025. She died at the age of 81, but she would have been 82 on the 18th of March if she had made it to that date, but she never made it to that date. So she died at 81, but today is her birthday anyway, so she would have been 83 if she had survived. But her death has been attributed or recorded as due to a stroke, having a stroke, suffering from dementia, and also from hypothermia. That's what's been listed anyway as the cause of her death. She had a fall at a care home, at Harperfield's care home in Balsall Common, Solihull. About 2 years ago, and that shortened her life considerably. And ever since, she's been kind of wheelchair bound. Before that that fall, she was upright and able to walk. Locomotion wise, she was able to walk on her feet and legs and upright position like normal people. But she had that fall, and she had a fracture of the hip, which was a big operation. She was a fighter, and she has actually had 2 knee operations as well. But sadly, that hip operation did take a toll, as well as the fact that she was being held captive for that reason. So she was wheelchair bound then after that fall and held in that captive care home. She was never returned back to the home. That's what jeopardised my stay at the former council house on Vine Street, number 105 in Coventry. And a notice to quit on her was served because she wasn't living at the property. She was the main tenant responsible for paying the rent. She had lived there for over 40 years, paying rent in that house. And I was just a caretaker there whilst she was kind of almost abducted out of her own house on the 24th of November 2021. And then notice to quit was served on her, and then subsequently eviction orders on me were served as well by Coventry County Court on 26th of April 2023, and I had to leave the house as well. And sadly, I had no place of abode to go to, but I managed to get a car in the nick of time. And I slept rough in that car for 13 plus months. It was a Peugeot 207 SW Estate. It's a good car, but obviously it had faults as well, with the power steering, for instance. And it failed MOT last year, sadly, as well, in May 2025. On that fault, the power steering fault, and also the shock absorbers on the offside, the suspension and shock absorbers on the offside. So those two major faults, I had to part with that car and sell it for scrap. Although it got me through my homelessness ordeal, I do miss that car, obviously, not just for that reason, because it took me to the continent as well. I used to have my vacations, 1-day trips to Europe, and I'll be usually back the next day. I do miss that. I can't do that anymore, and it's kind of something missed as well as my mother. But I had help from my mother to buy the car as well. Some help there, but she died obviously, and then I had no help at all. I had the car, and like I said, I was doing day trips as well, and all over the country, and not just in Coventry, and on the continent in particular, going to places like Amsterdam and Switzerland, places like Geneva and Zurich, and even Bern, the capital city of Switzerland, then returning back, usually on the same day, but not all those 3 locations at once. It's usually one or the others. And even going through France, Luxembourg as well, Belgium, etc. So that was just the day trips I used to have anyway. I couldn't afford to stay longer than a day. I'm usually back the following day, but I'm usually searched, especially when I used to go through Eurotunnel, the Le Shuttle, at customs there, is to search my car and everything, because obviously due to profiling, there's just a single person going, and there's no pets with me, animals, children, or anything, yet alone a spouse or partner. So under that high profiling, I would be searched under great scrutiny, just for going even for a day to the continent, and interrogated almost as well at customs, asked questions, where you're going and where you've been, etc. As if it's their business, obviously it's none of their business really. How much money you're carrying on you. That's the sort of regime at, customs there. Especially Eurotunnel. Ferries were not so bad. The ferry operators were better, I think. But obviously it's longer time or journey time to get across using the ferry method. It's 1.5 hours, about 3 times longer than going via the Le Shuttle Eurotrain from Folkestone. So I searched quite often, and I didn't really find that really enjoyable experience. That reason, obviously, even though I'm back the next day, and under great scrutiny. I'll just head off to the Transport Museum now, make this video, and complete the video. That's the Sainsbury's there, right behind me. Can you see that? On Trinity Street. And across the road is a Nisa 24/7. So obviously I missed that, going across to the continent with my car. Obviously I couldn't take my kids with me because they were with my partner, given to her exclusively. But I did make videos, and obviously if they've got access to the internet, they can probably see my videos when I did used to go to those places, like Switzerland, for instance. I put a few videos up. It's not the same, obviously, as taking someone with you. Like I said, obviously I was profiled, and because I'm going on my own, not even the customs officer sometimes were shocked, you're not even got pets with you, that sort of thing. Not children or anything, let alone a partner or a spouse going with you. So I used to go on my own, obviously solo, and return back solo. But searched, like I said, under great scrutiny with high profiling. Even sometimes my passports were seized, my old passports at Calais, they were kept. The ones that had expired. And like I said, the car was searched. So the last time I went, I think it was the 24th of October, 2024, and I made it all the way to Belgium, but I didn't have enough fuel to go all the way to Amsterdam, so I headed back. I was back the same day, obviously, a bit earlier, and I obviously rebooked my departure. And they must have been under, I don't know, suspicion or something, and that's why they searched me. And but I was searched even when I was going out. I was even frisked and everything from the customs on the Folkestone side of things. You know, the French police as well. There, based in the UK, they searched me as well as the UK customs officer asking me questions about my passport and name and title and things. It was so bad, really, going through the interrogation. Even though I'm on obviously social media, because I'm not very popular, you know, the ratings ain't there. It could be down to that. Anyway, my mother would have been 83 today if she had survived, and it was still alive today, you know. But sadly, she died at 81. Her life was cut short by that removal from her own house, the council house. And also, I was actually affected as well directly. It jeopardised my stay there as well at that house, at that council house, and I was rendered homeless, as you're aware of. I mentioned that in my videos. For plus 13 months before I was eventually discovered by the homeless team based at the JCT Jesus Centre in Lamb Street. They're homeless outreach workers, a Romanian guy by the name of Aurelian, and 2 or 3 local women as well. And they even took photographs of me, a video under with my consent when I was found sleeping with in my car. And I was offered a Salvation Army hostel accommodation for 3 nights before eventually being offered a supported housing, a single bedroom to myself in a shared house. And that's where I've been ever since, in supported housing. And Coventry Home Finder, incidentally, let me down miserably. Even to this day, they haven't found me a property in Coventry. That's the proper way of getting accommodation here, the local properties. I'm only in supported housing, which is not the same as your own property. Whereas I had my own property, a 3-bedroom house to myself, a council house. That was my mother's council house. And that's what they stole, fiddled away, by taking her first out of the house, and then me ultimately further down the line on the 26th of April 2023. It's unforgivable what they did. And like I said, nowadays I don't even have a car. Under this government, I've lost my car. Under the previous government, obviously, I lost my house, my family council house, as well as being removed from my kids. That was the previous government. So under this government, I've just lost my car, and I haven't been offered any better accommodation. And incidentally, I never had a camper van or access to a camper van or anything like that, improvised or otherwise. No one offered me one either. The best I was able to do is a Peugeot 207 SW Estate car. That's the best I could do. That's all I could obtain. So the help is very limited around here. And I'm at the Transport Museum here. Okay, I'll end this video now. And by the way, I'm a 56-year-old, heterosexual, single man, in supported housing, making these videos on social media and other content on social media on 5 different multiple platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, TikTok, and YouTube. But I've been doing that for over 5 years, and I have not been really paid for it. So I've got to mention that. I'm almost doing it voluntarily, almost like a blog, like a diary or something. Some of my older videos have been deleted. Obviously, they weren't very effective. And when I was homeless, I wasn't treated seriously. There are so many people who are homeless, who end up being homeless by the authorities, by diktat regimes. And obviously, I mentioned Coventry County Court, even Coventry Family Court for ruining me as well. So I would say that I am kind of in a tyrannical regime or authoritarian diktat state, particularly the local courts, who never helped me and made my situation worse. Dr. James VOND at the Coventry Transport Museum on 18th of March 2026.